A lot of reasons why we teach things to music is music works both hemispheres of the brain. This is why you get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and everyone remembers that better than if you were like just trying to teach the little letters, right? Because music does something where I can comprehend and my mind is getting what's going on a lot more significantly than if you just say words to me. This is why you'll remember a song. And when you hear a song, you remember all sorts of things. What you were doing, what you were eating, a smell that came in the room. Sound is a big deal. So we in my family developed a potty song. It was just called Pee Pee in the Potty. Pee Pee in the Potty. And like we would conga line to the bathroom. The person could go to the bathroom, then we'd cheer. You know, we made like going to the bathroom was this fantastic, almost soccer event or something, you know, basketball game. And then sometimes I had one child that had to have actually like classical music playing softly in the background, and he responded way better to that. I had some children that just had to have something upbeat, or Sesame Street song that I put on something and it was playing, or they could hear it from outside what was going on in the room. I suggest that you find one song and stick to it so there's a consistency. I would definitely find one song, and it's the potty song. Don't play it any other time if you can't. And actually use that song as a cue, because people remember things from what they hear, see, smell, right? And taste. So we're going to let music also be one of those things that helps with understanding. So even if I'm not verbal, I feel, I hear, I sense. So if I hear this every time, you're conditioning me in a good way, not in a bad way. That every time I hear this song, oh, that's when I get that feeling. And sometimes I go in that place and I go to the bathroom. Even if they can't verbalize that. If you actually have music set to things, it can, music is the number one thing that I suggest for teaching all sorts of new skills. Yes, I happen to be a musician and all that sorts of things, but music is what has helped me acclimate best into my environment. So you might have to have that. Some people need background sound noises. So let me give you another perspective. As I'm sitting and I'm feeling more comfortable, things like that, stop putting a time limit on it. Like as far as while I'm sitting there. Some kids will go right to the bathroom right when they first get there. I have a lot of parents that say, well, they pee in the bathroom, but they won't poop in the bathroom. That's a totally different sensation, and that is actually a big deal to lots and lots of kids. Let's just get to the nitty-gritty of it. When I pee, it's like I feel better and there's a relief. But with all the things going on inside of the bottom of you, sometimes actually pooping can have a sensation that actually feels sort of good. And some children actually will hold pooping going to the bathroom because of the sensation that they get before they go to the bathroom, which can actually be sort of a positive things to them, especially when they're sensory seeking. So you have to kind of invite caretakers, we have to invite people who want to hold their poop. They're not doing it to be a jerk. They're not doing it to defy you. And all. I've had caretakers say the most interesting things about why an autistic person won't conquer pooping. It feels completely different. And you've got to understand, completely different means I've got to learn a whole other set of things to do this other thing that you're asking me to do. So if you have done the milestone of we now have peeing, but then you sit up all the time, but they just won't poop, it'll eventually come. It's just that your particular autistic loved one might need that to be a little bit different. So how do we get those sensory seekers to let go of the poop? That's the only way to really say it. One of the ways that I think that worked the best was you've got to have something else going on. So I know some people don't go for this and they're like, you shouldn't have these things in the bathroom. Utilize whatever you can to get done what you think is best for your loved one. Some people actually have little iPads or other things. If a child's distracted or an autistic person is distracted doing something else while that's going on, your body's amazing and it loves to dispel waste. So if you can distract them, laughter, when you laugh, ha ha ha, your diaphragm goes in, right? So that automatically puts pressure down there on your anus. So if you can get your autistic loved one distracted, pooping is so much easier, trust me. And it may take a few times, and it may take months, it may take half a year, but I'm telling you, when you distract and don't focus on get it out, this is silly. Your body will naturally dispel waste, but you just have to get the mind engaged in something else. There's a few ways. What? Using dominant senses. You can use a sense of smell in a bathroom. You can use touch. You can use other things. Sometimes it's a book. the sensory books where people can feel different things that a child might like. Sometimes it's that you actually set a video. Now I know some people are like, you shouldn't set a child in front of the television or in front of whatever to go to the bathroom. Listen, you're just trying to get the person to go to the bathroom, correct? It's not the end of the world if you have to utilize using television and iPad. We have so many people who aren't autistic and their families, and they like to weigh in and say, well, it's not good for children to do whatever. Well, are you talking about autistic children? Are you talking about just your child? Are you talking about mine or my autistic loved one? Because these are some things that we have to do because we are wired differently than typical people. So sometimes you utilize what you can. You don't have to be ashamed of anything. Listen, I get a DS, whatever you need with those things, Nintendo Switch, whatever. Some people find that playing video games, pooping becomes an easier deal. And then, of course, you sanitize and wipe everything. Instead of keep flushable wipes, don't get the ones that can clog the toilet. But any device or anything that you have to use while your child's learning to go to the bathroom, you just clean it off. Like, this isn't really hard. Regression is the last thing that I will. Oh, wait. So after we get the person, they finally can sit on the toilet and do a few practice runs. Don't expect that you're going to be like, all right, now let's go do what you do in your diaper over here on the auditory explaining is really getting on my nerves too. I have also seen where a lot of caretakers and ABA people especially, God love them, some are good, but most of them aren't. I'm just sorry, it's just a deal of it. But there are some good ones, Sometimes they make this thing where they make charts and they have the autistic person look at these charts and there's these cartoon figures and they'll go to the bathroom and the cartoon figure, Listen, if you want to know why your little charts aren't working, it's because I can't make a connection based on an inanimate to me object, which is this cartoon figure and stick people and some little person you call Bobby that's drawn in these colored pencils. So here's what I did with my children. I actually took their real photos and I took their photo before they went in the bathroom. I took photos of them on the toilet and then I just blurred out the little bottom part, right? And then I put Velcro on the backside of them. I got a board and then that you could Velcro them to. And when it was time to go to the bathroom, I put it right outside the bathroom. They took their own face, understand, this is relating to me. You take me in the mirror, I can see myself. I have a little self-perception. Even nonverbal people can have self-perception. So I take an actual picture of my child. I put it where words are. Might say potty, might say toilet, might say bathroom, might say whatever. Whether it's brushing your teeth, taking a shower, whatever. Take a picture of your child brushing their teeth. Take a picture of your child washing their hands. Take a picture of your child cleaning their room. Everything that you want a child to do, take an actual photo. I know we don't print out stuff as much as we used to. So what I did is you can also go and take pictures with your phone, upload them to Amazon, and they send you some pictures in a week. And they cost like 6 or 7 or 17 cents a piece. I don't know, something. And so cut it. Put it on this board, take the actual photo of your child or the person you're trying to train, autistic loved one, and actually let them put it where, or you help them at first and you put it, okay, we're going to go to the bathroom. So you say their name, little Johnny, and he's going to the bathroom and you're so happy. Then when he comes out of the bathroom, say he's going to go play toys or whatever he's going to do. I actually took pictures of rooms too. I had their room was a picture. It could Velcro. They could Velcro onto their room or whatever, something that was they needed. If they needed a drink, take a picture of your child drinking their drink, milk, whatever it is. And you actually can go to the board and say, let's see, what do you need? This, you hold it up. A child, can tell you, maybe they're just pointing or maybe they smile or maybe there's some communication that they give you. But that is the biggest problem that I see a lot of caretakers do, or ABA people, I'd say, and therapists, is they have these charts with unrealistic people on them. And so I am going to connect better. An autistic person possibly can connect better to the actual photo of themselves. So those are the main tips I have for potty training. The next thing is regression. What you call regression sometimes is not regression, it's actually communication. So this is where I know it gets a little bit tricky for some of you. So you're like, listen, we were potty training, everything was going fine. I thought they had it down and they didn't. Listen, it's overwhelming sometimes being autistic with what I hear and perceive and have to somehow figure out. And it seems like every day, the next day, I have to relearn it. I had to relearn I had to learn from movies proximity to people and what was okay and what wasn't. People kept saying to me, why are you so close to me? Well, I didn't register that as close. I just was standing next to you. And some of us have issues with that sort of thing. So when you see regression, sometimes regression is the number one thing regression is due to is change. Even if it's a good change, like I, won the lottery, I can still have a lot of regression or stress in other areas of my life simply because something's different. It doesn't mean that it's something bad. Like some of you are like, oh, they regress, so it must mean that they're being abused, or they regress, which can, but hold on. They regressed, and so it must be that they're being stubborn, or they got old and they just don't want to. Listen. Every behavior is a communication with a person who has a disability. Everything. And if it is that they're like, I don't want to do, well, why are they all of a sudden being obstinate? There's always a reason. Unfortunately, sometimes that reason is because the person is being abused and they don't know how else to communicate to you that something is wrong. It does happen. But we're going to go on the other side of when it's not that, and what it actually can be is that there's something else going on. The number one thing I do when aggression starts to happen is you need to physically check your child over. I've had children and young adults who have ear infections or something wrong with their teeth, and it can cause regression in other areas. So do a once over. Ask your child how their tummy feels. Ask your autistic loved one how they're feeling. Sometimes back hurts. Listen, there's this thing where I always try to tell parents that I didn't know, and sometimes I still don't know what I need to report to the person who is helping me. Like I didn't realize I need to say my throat is sore. I don't realize I need to say my stomach's been hurting for 2 days. There's an executive function thing that doesn't do that. So sometimes, if I had cramps, being a girl growing up, I didn't know I should say I have cramps. I would just be in a foul mood or something else going on, and it was like, oh, I didn't realize it was because I was having this other issue. So sometimes you're getting the regression is because there's another issue going on. So the first thing I suggest is that you take and do a once over. And if you need to, you take the child or autistic loved one to the doctor. Check ears and teeth are two of the major things that can be wrong, and people kind of miss those because the autistic person doesn't know to tell you, I hurt here. So I actually established this thing called the 9 o'clock check-in with my children, where every day we just had a 9 o'clock meeting and be like, did everybody use the bathroom today? Because I'd have people who were constipated and didn't know to tell me. I would say, does everybody have, your tummy hurt you today? And as age appropriate, as they got older, the questions change. But I highly recommend you do a 9 o'clock kind of check-in. And that can sometimes help with potty training because you don't know until you know. And sometimes an autistic person doesn't even know to tell you what's going on. So aggression might be because they have a cramp in their buttocks. Regression could be because their stomach hurts when they're pushing. They have a blockage or they've been constipated. Regression could be because they might have a bladder infection. Little children, whether autistic or not, they can't really tell you that much. And so you don't have, they're just all of a sudden going to the bathroom a lot. It also can be because as you mature, some people's bladders don't exactly grow with them, so to speak. And so I have found boys more so, they will have regression issues a little bit more. And then all of a sudden when they turn 13, they don't. I don't know what that's about, but sometimes that happens. So sometimes check in with your child. Make it a standard practice, even if it's just whether you draw a picture, if they're nonverbal. There's tummy songs. There's all sorts of songs. Does your tummy bother you? Yes or no, 1 or 2, I don't know. And you have to sometimes make games out of a lot of things until you can kind of get a little progress. But if you are a caretaker and you are like overwhelmed, I want you to just take a breath again. And know that at some point, the person that you love so very much and care for, and your intentions is because you just want them to be independent and to be able to be okay in the world. You don't have to explain that to anybody. And don't put more pressure on your autistic loved one, your child, or the person you're taking care of to be in a position with potty training and things that other people are because of a number or because people tell you it has to be. There's always accommodations, and just give us time. There's so many things that I believe autistic people could definitely do and be encouraged about if people would just allow us the time to get there. Sometimes it's not that we can't learn something. I'd say most of the time, it's the way that we're taught, the way we're perceived, the way we're received, and the time limits that people seem to place on things, or then they just write you off. So it's going to be all right. Feel free. I try to do as many things as I can like this and tape them and write articles and things for parents. Busy mom, working mom with 7 kids I get to work with, which is great. But I also have started doing private sessions, which of course I charge for private sessions because that takes a little bit more of my time. And I'll talk more about that later. So right now I haven't been doing as many of those. A lot of people had reached out to me about potty training and other things. That's another reason I was making the video. And if you want to, I do private coaching for families that have autism, and case by case literally go through what you go through and the issues you're having and address them and come up with a plan for you to do that. I will do more of those probably starting next month on, and I charge $25 a session for those things. Usually it takes about 40 minutes, and we do that via Zoom, and just trying to make the world understand that you don't have to feel this pressure, nor do you have to feel the discouragement and disparagement that so many caretakers feel, because they're not given hope. They're not giving access to hope. So I hope that my children have a page on Facebook called 8 Chicken Nuggets, and I do the Autism Whisperer here. And it's just this, I've been very blessed that I have 7 children, and 2 of them were level 3 and 1 was a level 2, and the rest were level 1 like myself. And through the methods that I came up with, and I will say I prayed a lot and I cried a lot probably, and being autistic myself though, I also understood a lot. And I thank God for that, because my children didn't have to go through some of the things that I see other autistic people go through. And now everyone in my house is a level 1. So music was really what turned the tide in that. So be encouraged. Today it's October 2023, so this has been my latest potty training video. If you want videos about other things, they are here on the page. And I just want you to take another breath. It's going to be all right. All right, I'll talk to you all really soon. If you have any questions, you can also message me. If you want a video done about something, then more than likely that can get done too. So talk to you all really soon. Bye.